Episode 19 of 19. Self-Awareness as a Liability, Part 2. The Cost of Seeing. What happens when your insight cuts deeper than most can handle? Have you ever noticed how self-awareness gets marketed like it's a free upgrade? Like you just install Insight 2.0 and suddenly your life runs smoother. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. Sometimes self-awareness is not a superpower. Sometimes it's a flashlight you can't turn off. And once you see the wiring behind people's behavior, you also see how often the wiring is held together with tape, denial, and vibes, basically. Self-awareness doesn't always help. Sometimes it does hurt. You see the trap before it's sprung. You sense the shift in energy before the words catch up. And the worst part is not the seeing. The worst part is this. You can predict the ending of the story before the first chapter is even written. This is not empowerment. This is exhaustion. And if you've been living like this, you know exactly what I mean. Here's the part that nobody wants to admit. At some point, you start envying people who don't notice. Not because you want to be ignorant, because you want to be able to rest. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. Every conversation has layers. Every relationship has subtext. Every silence gets loud. And the burden isn't just what you see. It's what you carry because of what you see. And if you're honest, there's a second mirror here. Sometimes the reason we cannot relax isn't because we're too aware. Sometimes it's because we're still trying to control outcomes with insight. This is not wisdom. It is anxious management dressed up as depth. Sometimes insight is just control wearing a smart outfit. This is where it gets uncomfortable. You stop relating easily. You struggle to stay present. You become the translator in every interaction, always mapping the dynamics underneath the words. And worst of all, you stop believing people when the words don't match their energy. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're attuned. But here's the catch. When you are highly attuned, you will also get false positives. You will sometimes read threat where there is only awkwardness. You will sometimes call something avoidance when it is just stress, or neurodivergence, or fatigue, or just someone having a bad week. So the goal is not see everything. The goal is to see clearly. Let's pivot on this. You were never meant to carry it all. Yes, your awareness can change lives, but not at the cost of your nervous system, not at the cost of your joy, not at the cost of self-abandonment in the name of insight. Your gift was never meant to isolate you. It was meant to guide you back home to you. Your insight is a navigation system, not a sentence. So here's the gritty invitation. Let go of being the map for everyone else. Be the territory for yourself. Let insight guide you, not just explain other people. And when it's heavy, set it down. Not every truth has to be carried all the way to the finish line. Section 1. The double-edged sword of awareness. If you are deeply self-aware, and we're talking about internally and externally, you probably do this automatically. You see patterns clearly. You track emotions even when people deny them. You feel the tension before anyone says a word. You notice what wasn't said, what was skipped, and what was avoided. And if you're not careful, you start internalizing responsibility for everyone's discomfort. You become the Resonant One in every room. That sounds flattering until you realize what it actually costs. Because being the Resonant One often means you are the one absorbing. So let's look into different examples. Romantic example. You notice your partner's tone shift. They say, "I'm fine." You know they're not fine. Then you do the whole dance. Soft voice, careful timing, gentle questions. You become an emotional bomb technician. At work, a meeting starts. People are smiling. You can feel the rivalry underneath. You know who's posturing, who's insecure, who's about to throw someone under the bus. So you start editing yourself in real time to avoid becoming a target. For a family example, you sit at a dinner table and you can feel the old roles load in like a bad operating system. The scapegoat, the golden child, the peacekeeper, the grenade thrower. You see it all. And that's the first liability. Because the more you see, the harder it is to pretend you don't. Section 2. The social fatigue of the deeply aware. Let's talk about the fatigue. Not the "I'm tired" fatigue. The kind of fatigue where simple conversations start feeling like eating plain bread with no water. You can do it, but why? Small talk starts to feel like a room with no oxygen. You want depth, not because you're special, but because your nervous system can't tolerate fake. So you filter yourself constantly to avoid too much reactions. Even at work, you can feel the meeting turning into a power game before the first slide loads. So you start speaking in safe sentences instead of true ones. You learn to speak in a reduced version of yourself. You learn to smile at things that feel empty. You learn to nod at stories that have no self-reflection in them. You learn to watch people protect their identity like it is made of glass. And here's a brutal truth. Sometimes you don't actually want more people. You want fewer people, but better ones. And that can feel very lonely at first. Because you're leaving the social buffet and choosing a small, high-quality meal. Most people are still at the buffet, loading their plate with validation. Section 3. The psychological cost of seeing too much. This is where we name the two types of seeing. Clarity is calm. It is clean. It helps you choose. Hypervigilance is not calm. Hypervigilance is your nervous system scanning for danger even when nothing is happening. And yes, hypervigilance can look like insight. It can look like reading microshifts, anticipating conflict, noticing inconsistencies, tracking tone and timing like a detective. But the difference is how it feels in your body. Clarity feels like, oh, that's the pattern. Hypervigilance feels like, oh no, here we go. Sometimes the cost of seeing is not your intelligence. It is your body stuck in threat mode. And this creates 3 predictable problems. Number 1, trust gets harder. Not because you hate people, but because you've learned what denial looks like and you see it everywhere. Number 2, resentment grows. Because some people demand your clarity but refuse their own growth. They want you to translate their life while they stay asleep inside of their life. Number 3, heartbreak becomes quieter. Because watching someone you love avoid themselves is a slow grief. It's not dramatic, it's just deeply disappointing. And that disappointment can harden you if you let it. So here's the counterpoint. Not everyone who can't, quote-unquote, keep up is shallow. Some people are doing their best with the tools they have. Some people grew up in homes where self-awareness was punished. Some people never had language for their inner world. Your job is not to save them. Your job is to stop confusing compassion with servitude. Let's ground this in something real for a second. When stress or trauma is in the driver's seat, the nervous system starts scanning for threat by default. One PTSD eye tracking review found the most consistent pattern was not superhuman threat detection, but sustained attention on threat once it appears. That is the brain getting stuck on danger cues. And when hyperarousal is high, the alarm system gets jumpier. Ambiguous cues can start feeling loaded, even when they are just awkward or neutral. Also, a lot of what being the aware one turns into is emotional labor. That is the effort of managing your own expression and tone to keep things smooth. A 2025 systematic review and meta-analysis found that, quote, surface acting, end quote, style emotional labor was linked with worse mental health outcomes like anxiety and depression. So yeah, if your system is always on and you're always managing the emotional climate, of course you're tired. That is not weakness, that is load. Section 4. When you become the containment field. This section matters because it is where the gift becomes self-erasure. Containment is when you manage everyone's emotions so the room stays stable. Connection is when truth can exist without punishment. A lot of deeply aware people become containment fields. You soften your words to avoid triggering others. You downplay your intuitions so they don't feel exposed. You hold back truths that might liberate, but also might fracture. And you do it so well that everyone feels safe, except you. Because you are not being met. You are being used as emotional infrastructure. In your relationships, you learn how to phrase everything gently so your partner doesn't spiral, shut down, rage, or collapse. You become a full-time translator of reality for them. In friendships, your friend vents the same story for 3 years. You keep offering insight. They keep ignoring it. You start to feel like an unpaid consultant for someone else's avoidance. In culture, online, you watch people weaponize therapy words to dominate conversations. You can see the manipulation. It's obvious. But if you name it, you become the problem. So you go quiet, and silence becomes your prison. Never forget that if you are everyone's safe place, but no one is yours, that's not love. It's labor, paid or not. Section 5. Reclaiming insight as a tool, not an identity. This is one of the biggest upgrades in your life when you truly mature. Insight stops being your personality. It becomes your instrument. Because awareness should lead to sovereignty, not servitude. Here are some sentences that might save your life. This is not mine to fix. I can care without carrying. I am not available for this dynamic. I am not doing emotional calculus today. When you say these types of things to yourself or out loud to others, you get to rest, you get to laugh, you get to be ordinary. You get to stop interpreting everything. And let me say this clearly. If you can't turn your insight off and just enjoy the moment, insight is not a gift anymore. It's a compulsion. A gift is something you can use. A compulsion is something that uses you. Section 6. When to set it down. The recalibration rules, if you will. This part is practical. Write it down if you need to. Set your awareness down when 1. Your awareness feels heavy instead of clear. Clear insight feels simple. Heavy insight feels frantic. Number 2. Your insight isolates you more than it connects you. If you are interpreting people more than you are enjoying them, pause. Number 3, you are getting false positives. If everything feels like a threat, you are not more awake. You might be overloaded. Number 4, you are always the mirror, and nobody holds one up to you. So, what do? Well, you create friendships where you don't have to know better. You create spaces where being a little unaware is safe. Not stupid, not reckless, just human. Go do something that doesn't require analysis. Lift, build, cook, walk, laugh at something stupid. Let your nervous system learn that life is not always a code to crack. If everything needs interpretation, you are overloaded, not enlightened. Section 7. Final words. The gift that doesn't own you. You weren't built as a human to see it all, hold it all, or fix it all. You were built to feel, to be, to hold your clarity, not the weight of everyone else's ignorance. So let the gift be what it is. A guide, not a prison. Well, if you've listened to the other 18 episodes, you've made it through this. The series was never the point. This 19-part series was never the point. This was never a self-help series. It was an ego exit. 19 times we walked up to the same mirror and stopped bargaining with it. Not to become better people, to become less defended people. If something in this series stung, good. That sting is the part of us that still wants comfort that sounds smart. The part that wants growth without cost. The part that wants to be seen as wise more than it wants to be free. The series wasn't here to make us feel good. It was here to make us real. And if you're hearing this right now, you already are. So let's do a final practice. This will take us 5 minutes. Grab a piece of paper, draw 3 columns. We did this in a previous episode. The 3 columns are going to be labeled mine, then not mine, then optional. Under mine, write my standards, my boundaries, my pace, my repair. Under not mine, write their denial, their timeline, their reactions, their self-awareness. Under optional, write my insight when I have the capacity. Now pick one sentence to live this week. Ready? The sentence is, I will not carry what is not mine. That's it. That's the practice. And that closes out this 19-part series. The 19-part series titled, This Isn't a Self-Help Series, It's a Reckoning. Season 4 of I4L Podcast is next. Same mission, new terrain. Less processing the wound, more building the life. If this series helped you, don't just nod at it, use it. Tell one person who's stuck in performance healing that there is a way out. I'll see you in Season 4. We're going to do some fun ones, and it's going to piss some people off. It'll be fun.